Melbourne's central city is situated within Eastern Kulin Nation's traditional lands, encompassing both nature and urban areas surrounding the Yarra River. Burrowing for at least 60,000 years, the Eastern Kulin people and their ancestors lived on the banks of the Burrowing. The falls is an important site for them. The natural basalt ledge that runs from bank to bank provided a folding point across the river at low tide. The ledge itself allowed a deep basin to form on its western side, which combined with the boundary between salt and fresh water, provides a dynamic waterway environment for fishing and hunting. In 1835, John Batman chosen the region around the falls as the site for a future township in June, following the infamous treaty with Warm Warrior people. In August the same year, John Paxico Forstner party made a separate expedition on the Enterprise, dropping anchor and setting up camp at this location. The survival of Europeans in settlements depended entirely on the goodwill for their hosts. But with the development of Melbourne, Eastern Kulin people became internally displaced within their own country. Places that are ancient and important to them are also being destroyed. In modern times, the historical significance of the region is recognized and celebrated through the reconstruction of historically significant sites and art installations. So we can see that as Melbourne developed, all the Aboriginal people were gradually forgotten from the beginning to be re-emphasized in modern times, but for centuries, the North Bank has been a place of significance. This diagram shows the overall public green area in all the precincts. The common characteristics of the green space in the city is very limited, which means more vegetation needs to be planted in the area in the future. This diagram shows the vegetation species and the common animals species in the Yarra precinct. During the research, there are about 43% of the trees are from one family, the Myrtaceae. The potential problem of it is these species vulnerable to one disease, myrtle rust. This is the ecological diagram. It shows the growth rate of the trees. Since most of them are all from one species, their growth rate is very similar. What could probably change the situation here is to grow more trees from different species that can reduce the chance that the disease spread out. The bottom diagram is showing the trees that suggested to be planted in the site in the future. The names of the tree are on the left-hand side. By adding those new species, different types of animals will be attracted to the site as well. It helps with the overall ecological systems too. In terms of the transportation system, we basically analyzed the current transportation network near the Yarra River. There are multiple choices for people to travel around that showing on the image, and it's clear to observe that train and tram routines are very well organized in Melbourne. In fact, in recent years, more people prefer choosing public transportation instead of private vehicle. However, it still exists some challenges. For example, for people who would like to walk or ride bikes, the bikeways and footpaths are much fewer even though they mostly near the riverbank. But there are still many fragments and underutilized paths need to be more useful. According to the feedback from the cycling community, lots of issue spots concentrates on the riverbank, which means many demands for this slow mode transportation haven't solved yet. This diagram shows the strengths, weakness, opportunity, and the threat of the Yarra Green Line. We chose Yuejiang Road Park in Guangzhou for our precedent study. There are many similarities between this project and the future Green Line. Before it was renovated, it was just an unused green space that lacked supporting functions and popularity. In 2020, Guangzhou Hydro District put forward a construction plan of 43 kilometers around the island within 5 years. The park is the first demonstration section of the island Sukra. In addition to some activity areas, this project is made up of 4 lines running through the walking path, running track, cycle lane, and tram lane. Through a research of site users, this project realized the design vision of creating an all-ages shared vitality zone. We choose the section within the Yarra precinct near the Yarra River entrance for our future vision. The area is transformed according to the percentage of hear, smell, touch, and sight in the site. The overall visual effects of the area was stiff, cold, and boring during the use of large area of green materials. So the use of wood can add a natural warmth, and the curved design language brings the overall space to life and generates different scales and resting places. The addition of plants can purify the air and river and acts as a visual divider. Through the renovation, we hope that this area will become vibrant and warm.